Well, it's almost turkey time, and everybody needs that perfect stuffing recipe for their Thanksgiving dinner, right, Christina?
Absolutely.
And you have one for us.
I do. This is my family's stuffing recipe. Whether you call it stuffing or dressing or in the bird or out of the bird, this is what we've made for generations, and now I make it for my family.
Excellent. Well, I guess we can get started.
Yep, so this is pretty basic. The first thing I did was I cut up 3 loaves of regular plain old sandwich bread.
All right.
And that's right here. I did this a couple days ago. So it's sitting out, it got nice and dry and crispy because that's going to help the bread absorb all the other flavors we're gonna add to it. To our skillet here, I'm going to add a bunch of butter.
All right.
Because butter makes it better. So I know it looks like a lot, but we're making a lot of stuffing here. This is enough to feed like 10 people.
Nice, okay.
So to this, we're gonna start building the flavor. So that starts with onions.
Which smells so good with the butter.
I know. And then to this, we're going to add some celery. So everything's in a pretty fine dice. And the sizes are about the same of the onions and celery. And then to that, we're going to add some sage. And this is why I call it sage and onion stuffing. So we're really gonna amp that up.
Oh, wow, yeah, we're using, quite a bit.
A lot of sage, right? This is one of those seasonings that tends to sit in your pantry, except for the holidays.
Right?
We're using it.
We're giving it some love today.
We are. We're giving it some love. And then we're going to add some poultry seasoning here. And I have a recipe for a homemade poultry seasoning on my website. So you can grab that there.
Okay.
And we'll just get all of this stirred together.
Do you have any preference whether you do like to make the stuffing in the bird or just in a separate pan?
I love it in the bird.
Do you really?
I love it in the bird. It gets a flavor that I don't think you can get in a baking dish.
Right.
So I always do both because you can't fit all the stuffing in the bird. It only holds a small amount. So I do make both. Okay, so we have our dried out bread and it's nice and you can hear it nice and crispy. Want all that moisture out of there.
You just use regular white bread, right?
Plain old white bread.
Love it.
I've tried it using all different types. My family really likes the plain white bread. And I know this looks like a lot, but it will squish down. It's kind of like when you're cooking spinach.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I'm gonna hold about half of this second tray back. We're going to start getting all the flavors in here and then we'll add this at the end. It just adds some extra texture.
Okay.
So I'm going to add our cooked onions and celery to the bowl. All that butter in there.
Looks good.
This is Thanksgiving right here.
Yes, it is.
Now to this, we're going to season it up quite a bit. Now it might look like I'm using a lot of my all-purpose seasoning or salt and pepper if that's what you have, if that's what you prefer using, but this is a lot of stuffing.
Yeah, and you want it to be flavorful.
Right, you don't want it under-seasoned. And then we're gonna add a little bit more of that poultry seasoning and then turkey stock. So I'm just gonna pour some of that over. And this is going to break down some of that bread, get it nice and squishy, let it start absorbing all these other flavors. And then very carefully,
yeah, you don't want to mess
stir it
up
all
those
together.
Yeah, you don't want to mess up that texture of the bread.
Yeah. Okay, so I find that the easiest way to do this is to just get in with your hands.
Okay.
Clean hands are your best kitchen tools.
Absolutely. So how do you know when it's ready?
Yeah, so you see me, I'm adding a little more stock here, and I go by feel, right?
Okay.
So it's a texture thing, because it depends on how dry your bread got while it was sitting out.
So you don't want it to be like a complete mush.
No, you don't want complete mush, but you want it to, you see how it's breaking down in that full bowl, which is why I saved some of it. You just want different textures throughout, but the wetter the bread from the stock, it's going to absorb the other flavors more. And that's why I find getting it with my hands, I can feel it.
Yeah, the best way, right.
Okay, so I'm gonna add the rest of this bread, maybe a little more stock, and then we'll go ahead and finish it up.
Okay.
All mixed up, we're going to butter our baking dish. So I just have a stick of butter. We just don't want anything to stick. So I'm literally just up the sides, on the bottom.
Now, do you ever use like a nonstick cooking spray at all?
You could. I just love carrying the flavor of the butter through.
Right.
And then we are going to transfer this big bowl of stuffing.
That is a big bowl.
Like I said, it's gonna feed
A lot
at
of
least
people.
10 to 12 people.
Isn't that great? And of course, we need the leftovers. Hopefully, there's always leftovers,
The best
right?
part. So then, again, I'm just going in with my hands, just filling all those empty places. And you see by adding that stock, it made it nice and workable.
Totally.
And the best part is the top is gonna get nice and crispy while the inside gets nice and tender.
Nice.
Okay, so now we just need to pop this into a 350-degree oven, maybe 20, 30 minutes
that's
until
it.
it's just gotta warm through.
Great. Christina, this looks fantastic.
And it smells so good
It
too.
really does. And what a nice, simple recipe, but packs a great punch, right?
It does. There's layers and layers of flavor in there. It's simple yet classic.
Absolutely. Well, I think we should give it a try.
I think we should too.
Because it looks good. Oh, it's crispy on the top, which is really nice. This is delicious.
Thank you.
It has so much flavor. The bread really did absorb everything.
Didn't it?
A
It's
lot of
that
layers.
letting it toast and crisp up.
Thank you so much for sharing this recipe with us. We really appreciate it. And I know everyone loves to check out your website and to get all the recipes. And of course, this is on there as well.
Of course, yes. All my Thanksgiving recipes are on my website, www.itisakeeper.com.
Great. Christina, thank you so much. It's always so much fun to come over and cook with you.
Oh, my pleasure having you, Jackie.
Thank you. And have a great Thanksgiving.
You too.